Hi, my name is Danielle Lisso. I am a student at Azusa Pacific. This is Bio 230, Anatomy Physiology, week number 4, lab number 4, and it is February 5th, 2018. Today I'm going to be discussing the different types of bones in the body. There are 4. That's the long, the short, the flat, and the irregular. I'm going to talk a little bit about their shape, a little bit about the types of bones in them, and then give you some examples as well. So I'm going to start with long. Since it's the main one, or I'm sorry, the biggest one. Long bones are, long. They consist of a tubular shaft and also have articular surfaces at either end, so kind of the bone shape that you see, most often drawn with the two ends. They have hyaline cartilage that lines both sides of the end so that when they rub against each other or against other bones, they're not rubbing bone against bone. So it's a protective cartilage that lines it. They also grow from the middle. The middle portion of the long bones is called the diaphysis, and that's where the bone grows from. They don't grow from the ends, they grow from the middle, and it elongates. They provide strength, structure, and mobility to the bodies, and some really important ones are the humerus in the upper arm, as well as the ulna and the radius. You can also find them in your femur, and your tibia and fibula. Moving on are some short bones. Short bones are very similar to long bones. They are just much smaller. They do have a tubular shaft and articular surfaces at either end. But like I said, in comparison to long bones, they are much smaller. They provide support, strength, and compactness to the body with little movement. They are made of a thin layer of compact tissue over a cancellous layer of tissue. I have hiccups. My bad. The best way to represent that idea is like it's a thin layer of hard bone that overlays a much more flexible layer of bone underneath so that it's unique for the type of movement for it. Some examples are your metacarpals and your phalanges in your hands. You can also find them in your feet with your metatarsals and your phalanges in your feet, so those digits. After that, we're going to move on to the flat bones of the body. The flat bones are thin with broad surfaces. They're used for either extensive protection, like in the rib cage, or for the provision of a broad surface area for muscle attachment, like in your scapula. So they are made of a layer of spongy bone that is kind of smushed between two thin layers of compact bone. So they do have a bone marrow, and they do not have a marrow cavity, which allows them to be flat in nature. So like I said, some examples are your rib cage and your scapula. You also have irregular bones. So like their name, irregular bones are naturally irregular in size or shape. And usually they're very small, very compact. They're found all over the body. And so they have various different functions, but some of the main ones are that they provide protection for nervous tissue. Like in our vertebral column, it provides protection for the spinal cord. They also provide protection for important parts, as well as they allow multiple anchor points for muscle attachment. So a really important example of that is the patella, which protects the knee joint, which is the articulation between the femur, tibia, and fibula, and it allows for the muscle and connective tissue to attach to it so that we can bend our legs. So like I said, our vertebrae, which line our back all the way down, and our patella, which is right over our knee. So that's all the different kinds of joints that I have to show you. That was long, bones that I have to show you. That was long, short, flat, and irregular. And that's it. Thank you so much.